Okay. Hey, there you go. For some reason, my mic got switched over to another mic. Hello. Hey, Frostlight here. How's it going? So, hopefully we're live now. No sound? Okay. The chat's catching up then. Hello, Malachi. Jericho, hello. Hello, hello. We've got audio. It looks like I'm live. Awesome. So, I refreshed because there was no audio. Yeah, that was my fault. My audio device got switched somehow for some reason. It was using a microphone that is no longer attached, which is not going to be very helpful. Cool. So, welcome everyone. This is going to be the last stream of the year. I'll be starting up again next year, but because of all the holidays, this is going to be the last one where I'm going to actually be able to host here. Now, as we had, if you had been here or if you were in here in the last stream, I mentioned that hopefully I wanted this stream to be with both my brother and I. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. He got a last-minute meeting, so he won't be able to jump in here. But we did get everything working, so we have the technology now. Which is super exciting for me because this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So just kind of as a preview, we've got the dual webcam. There you go. So now we'll both be able to be on here. And then we've got the dual desktop. So this is actually playing on the other system. I was testing it out earlier. So now we can both share our desktops and our webcams, and everyone gets to see all the cool stuff that's happening on both of them. Hopefully this will be 2D animation and all sorts of things. And then we can focus on one or the other if we need to. So that's something I'm really excited about, but unfortunately we won't be able to do it today. Hopefully in the new year that'll be kind of the mainstream, as long as we can get our schedules lined up and get all that work stuff out of the way. So next year is going to be a blast with both of you on the stream. Oh, thanks. I'm really looking forward to it. That was our goal right from the start, is to have both of us streaming so we can share different things and different kind of experiences. And so far it hasn't happened yet, which it's understandable because of work and whatnot, but it's still something I really want to aim for. So, in the meantime, today I kind of wanted to show a process for preparing dialogue. Not so much for the animation side, but preparing for animation. Dialogue is one of those tricky things when you first get started in finding a dialogue clip that you want to animate is tough enough. I managed to find one a couple of days ago. I was listening to some videos and I heard it and I thought, oh, this would be a fun one to do a test of. So I was going to just kind of plan it out and prepare it all on my own and then animate it in the new year. But I figured it might be fun to just kind of go through the process. It's not going to be visually entertaining. Oh, hey, Lewis, how's it going? It's not going to be like a visual feast because it's just going to be looking at sound waves and text. But it is a process that we have to go through as animators. And it can be very daunting at first, especially if you're not sure how to approach it. So let's just jump right in. And if anyone does have any questions, feel free to ask. If you just want to chat, definitely just feel free to chat away. I always love having the back and forth with people on these streams. So let's just go to the desktop here. Now, to begin with, we're going to have some... let me just get rid of this extra thing there. Okay. So speaking of, where does everyone get their audio? For me, I used to get it from audio sites when I first got started, but now I don't really recommend that. Mostly because by this point, most of the oh, and I'm guessing I'm cutting out quite a bit here. I can see it on the stream. That's mostly I'm guessing because my brother is in a meeting right now. So it's probably going to be cutting out just a little bit for just a little bit here. There will be more next year. Yes, there will be. Next year, I'm going to be starting a full schedule, and we'll be just going every week with a schedule below down there. The other thing is that I will be away in February, though. So there's going to be a month where I'm going to be gone, just as a heads up. But for the rest of the year, next year's should be a full schedule, non-stop. So that'll be fun. So what was I gonna say? Oh, hey, Art with Jonas, how's it going? So the audio. Where do you get your audio? Hawaii? Yeah. My brother and I have been planning a trip for our family to go to Hawaii for, I think this is the 5th year now that we've been hoping to go. But because of health issues with our family and all of that, it just hasn't been possible. And this year it finally happened. Everyone is okay. Everyone can go. So we're taking advantage of it, and we're taking our whole family to Hawaii for a month. It's been something that our parents have been dreaming of for the last 12, 20 years, something like that. Our grandmother she used to go to Hawaii when she was younger, and she's always wanted to go back. It's just going to be a big family trip just to kind of give everyone this chance to visit together and just have fun together. So I'm really excited for that. But it will mean that my brother and I will be away for a month. Oh, and Metal Glasses, hello. I'm Bo. Cameron is my brother. You gonna come back as a pro surfer? I wish. I can swim pretty well, but surfing I think is gonna be out of my league. I'm gonna be happy if I can stand up on the board for a little bit. But yeah, going back to your question, the question about where do you get your audio? The sources that I recommend are, whenever you watch something, just look out for audio that you like. So, for example, I was just watching some videos a few days ago, and I heard this clip, and I thought, oh, that would be interesting to animate. So I got a clip of it, and that's what I'm going to be going over today. The problem with audio sites, so audio sites that give you clips of audio, is that most animators have already gone through there and picked the best ones. So if you're going to pick them, you're just going to be animating a scene that someone else has already animated many, many times. So they're not the most unique. Not that it's bad. They're the easiest way to get clips, but you're just not going to... let's go full screen here. You're not going to get clips that are unique to you. So typically I recommend looking for other sources. This could be TV shows, podcasts, YouTube videos, Twitch streams like this, all that kind of good stuff. And just look for audio clips in what you're watching. Now, with that said, I would recommend staying away from popular clips. So stay away from clips where it's a very recognizable actor. So, for example, Jim Carrey is one, or Robin Williams. When people hear their voices, they automatically see that person. Their voice is so unique, and their mannerisms are so unique that even if you were to animate it, it could... it'll be difficult to do. What? No Rick and Morty? No. That's the other thing I would highly recommend avoiding. Don't animate a clip from an animated show. So don't pick a clip from Toy Story or any Disney or Pixar cartoons. Don't pick a Adventure Time or Steven Universe or something like that. Mostly because now you're not only going to be competing with the original material in terms of the acting, where people can compare, and this is kind of the problem with picking something popular. If you pick a popular audio clip, and they hear, oh, that's Tom Hanks from Forrest Gump, or let's say Star Wars. Star Wars is huge right now. You pick a clip from Star Wars. Everyone, or a lot of people know Star Wars. And when they hear that clip, they're going to go, oh, that's Luke. And then they're going to go, oh, well, I wonder how your scene compares to the original. And unless yours is better or completely different, they're just going to go, It's going to give them a preconception of your animation. So, I don't want to say you can't do it. For example, if you want to do Morgan Freeman, you can, but you have to be very careful that you push it more than a normal audio clip because that voice is so recognizable. Or that you try to animate as Morgan Freeman and try to get it really close to how he would act. So it's that kind of double-edged sword there. Now, the problem with animated clips, so if I took something from Rick and Morty, for example, is now not only are people going to be comparing, and this is mostly the recruiters that you're worried about, not only are they going to be comparing how my acting choices and my lip sync and all of that compares to the original clip, they're going to be comparing the animation quality from my clip to that clip. So, for example, if you take something from a Pixar film, you'd better make sure that your animation is better than the Pixar animation. That's going to be very tough to do. Do I watch Rick and Morty? I've watched the first 2 seasons? Yeah. I haven't had time to watch the third one yet. I've been wanting to, though. I really like it. It's a weird show in the best ways. So, yeah, when picking dialogue, be careful of popular things, popular shows, popular actors, or animated films. Now, this is kind of a general rule. I don't want to say you have to follow it exactly. That's just things to be aware of. That would be the main things to do. So typically what I look for is podcasts. Especially podcasts are really good because a lot of the time there's no visuals. It's just audio. So when you create an animation from it, it's something new. How old can the clip be to be safe? It can be any age, really. You could pick something that's like from the 1920s, or you can pick something from the last year. The big thing is, for example, A Good Place is a very popular show on TV right now. Does that mean you can't pick an audio clip from it? No, there's some really good clips from The Good Place that I've heard and that I've been tempted to animate. But, like The Matrix. The Matrix is a cult classic. It's kind of like Back to the Future, Star Wars. It's one of those films that are just super popular. So it's going to be very easily recognizable. People will hear it and go, oh, that's The Matrix. A lot of people will. If you were to pick something from... I'm trying to think of an unpopular show. Or a show that came out in... let's see. It's hard to say because most people haven't seen them. So, like Baby's Day Out or something like that. A show that most people won't really remember. They don't have that emotional attachment to. And that's the tricky part because everyone's different. Presidential speeches, I would stick away from anything political. Anything, and this goes to just dialogue from a film as well. Stay away from political things, things with strong language, anything like that, because you never know who the recruiter is going to be. Sometimes if a recruiter hears like swearing or something like that, they might not like that. It might count against you. So you just be careful about what you pick in that case. Tommy Wiseau, The Room. I've never seen that. I know it's super popular. It is... Choosing dialogue is really up to your discretion. What do you think people would like to listen to? And do you have an amazing idea for it? That's the other thing. Maybe the clip is super popular, everyone's heard it, but maybe your idea for it is unique. It is so unique, you just want to do it. Then do it. If you're passionate about it, go for it. Again, be careful of certain things. Kind of use those as guidelines, but don't let it stop your passion. Too many people just go, oh, well, I shouldn't do this. I'm not going to do it because some rule says so. And they let it stop their passion, stop their creativity. And you never know when maybe your idea is going to spark something new out of something old or something overused. So it's one of those things where there's no concrete rule, but there are guidelines to help you avoid just kind of repeating the same thing that everyone else has repeated before. And to kind of get you a fresh take on things. And so recruiters have fresh eyes on your work. So again, it's one of those things that it is really up to the individual. So let's see. I wanted to go through here and I actually want to show everyone the audio clip. Oh, Smooth Art. That's an awesome name. Thank you so much for following. Really appreciate that. That's an awesome name. So I wanted to show the clip I picked. Now, I'm guessing a few of you might know where this comes from. Again, I kind of broke my own rule. This is from a popular source. I'm not going to say what it is because, again, I don't want to kind of give that preconception to it. But I just want to give an idea for it. So let's share my desktop here. So this is the character I'm going to be animating. I just kind of put him in a starting pose just to kind of help give me some inspiration on how I want to kind of set up the scene, what the character is, how I want him to stand. This is one of those things where I'll do once in a while when I'm preparing a shot, is character tests. It doesn't even have to be animation, it just has to be a pose. I want to see the character before I start animating them. It gives me an idea of, or it helps to solidify who this character is as a person, as a character, compared to just a line of dialogue, if that makes sense. So this is the character I have, and let's listen to the dialogue here. Now, my audio might not be set up correctly, since I'm sharing music and all of that. Let me lower the audio of the music a little bit, and let me know if this is too loud, or I can't hear it. Let me go back to the beginning. Okay, so that's the dialogue clip. I hope everyone was able to hear that fairly clearly. Now, this also breaks another rule of mine that I usually follow, is there's laughter in the background. Oh, nothing? Can't hear it. Let's see. Stop that. Interesting. Why is it not coming through? Let's see. If this is actually what I think it is, this is actually my workout. It might be using a different audio device. No, maybe not. I might just have to play this through another software. Yeah, it's probably my soundboard instead. Oh well, that's fine. I can just find another program to play it with. Okay, and let's go with QuickTime. Okay, Let's see if this works.
So, you came
there
looking
you go.
for black powder, did you? No one asked about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. Yes, you wish to buy it? How much do you want?
Okay, so hopefully that
So,
came through
you
and
came
didn't
looking
blow
for
out
black
your
powder, did you?
eardrums.
No one asked about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. Yes, you wish to buy it? How much do you want?
Okay, so loud and clear? Okay, I hope it wasn't too loud. I looked at the audio capture on here and it just shot up. I was worried it was going to clip everything. So that's the audio clip again. So I'm going to play one more time just so you can see the character, so you can hear the clip. And again, you'll notice that there's laughter in the background. I usually try to avoid that, but I love the dialogue so much. Just because, like, yeah, the lisp, just you could see the mannerisms, you can feel it. There's intonation, there's pauses. It's interesting. You have to be one of the things to try and avoid, and again, it's not a solid rule. You can choose it, and it could be really interesting, but monotone delivery, where the person is just talking and there's nothing really interesting, and they're not pausing. It's just continuous talking without any elevation or increase in the tone of voice, and it gets boring. If you have to animate a clip like that, you can make it interesting, but it's much harder to do. Whereas a clip like this, because there's pauses, and then he gets louder and quieter, and you can just feel all the emotion in him.
So, you came looking for black powder,
And the
did
lisp.
you? No one asked about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. Yes, you wish to buy it? How much do you want?
So it just makes it more interesting. So that's the clip I'm going to try to animate to. Not today. Today is just the planning phase of it. And I wanted to show this because it's one of those steps that I remember really, it stopped me in my tracks when I first got to it. How the heck do I take a dialogue clip and prepare it for animation so that I know when and where to do the mouth shapes, what the heck I'm doing in the first place, all of that stuff. It can be mind-blowing, especially when you're first starting out. So I kind of wanted to show that process here. So one thing I've done is I have brought the clip into Maya already. So if I scrub through here, I can even go backwards.
You came looking for...
But this will allow me to see exactly what frames certain things happen on. Another thing I can do, and I've seen a lot of people do this, I don't do it too often, is if you go into the options for Maya, you can increase the height of the time slider. That way it's easier to see the waveform. So let me see. Something's slowing down my computer here. Okay. Let me just close off some programs here. Okay, I think that's gonna do it. Cool. So that's the dialogue clip. That's kind of what I want to aim for. And let me bring back the music. Hopefully it's gonna be quiet enough. Cool. So when I'm planning a dialogue clip, I've got the clip. I like it. I've got my character. I've kind of done some character tests with him. I've got that first pose just to give myself an idea of who this person is. I've brought my audio into Maya, but I'm not going to animate yet. I need to plan things out. So the first thing I need to do is that Cap Phasma in the back. Oh, yeah. So there's Captain Phasma, some stormtroopers, New Order stormtroopers, Boba Fett. There's Diva from Overwatch. If I zoom out here a little bit, you can see there's Widowmaker from Overwatch, Korra, Beifong from Legend of Korra, Bruce Lee, Reaper from Overwatch, and then I've got a bunch of others all over the place. So yeah, I've got too many toys around here, and then you should see my brother's room and office as well. We have too much fun. Animators in general, at least a lot of the ones we know, are kids who never grew up, and like we still collect toys and cartoons and all of that stuff. It's so much fun. I really love it. So going to the clip here, I've listened to the clip. You can do animations like in Robot Chicken. Oh yeah, that would be awesome. I've always wanted to do stop motion. So I've listened to the dialogue clip. The first thing I need to do once I'm ready to start preparing things is I need to write out the dialogue. So I've already done that, so since it's just typing it out. So this is the dialogue here. So you can see, so you came looking for black powder, did you? He laughs. No one asks about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. Yes, ha, you wish to buy it, how much do you want? That's the basics of it. And it's very important to write it out and make sure you write it out correctly. Don't write out what you think you hear. Actually listen to it. This is something I've seen a lot of people do, and I did it even when I was writing this one here. I would listen to the sentence, then I'd write it out. And then I'd listen to it again, and I would add in words that I would say. So I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something in the first sentence here. I think it was so, and then I instead of you came, I think I wrote you've come looking for black powder. And it's just a small thing, but it's so easy to do. So when you're writing out dialogue, make sure you play it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until you have it written out exactly the way they say it. That's going to be very important, because if we don't have the right words, we're not going to be able to plan out the dialogue. So I did that. I already wrote all of this out. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to then write out the subtext of this shot. Now, the subtext of a shot is basically, what is the character actually saying? So I'm gonna just take this, let's duplicate it here, and I'm gonna change the color of this one. So let's just put it kind of a gray color. Okay, so this is where a lot of you have to listen to your dialogue clip and try to figure out exactly what the character is saying. Now, this isn't the literal words that they're saying, but what is the meaning of what they are saying? So let's just go through this, and we'll see as we go.
So, you came looking for black powder, did you? No one asked about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. Yes, you wish to buy it?
So we need to figure out, what is this character actually saying? What are his thoughts as he's saying this? So, for example, to kind of go away from this, if I was to say, what would be a good example? Let's see. Let's say someone's coming to my door. I open the door and, oh, do you want to come in? So the words I say, let's kind of take this, and I'm going to say, oh, you want to come in? Let's copy that and paste it there. So that's my dialogue. Oh, you want to come? You want to come in? I'm inviting them into my house. Well, the subtext can be totally different. My thought process could be, oh, you want to come in? Oh, are you cold? Do you want to are you okay? Maybe I'm worried about them. Oh, do you want to come in? That my subtext is, you look like you're in trouble. Please come in. So my subtext would be something like, you look like you're in trouble. So that could be the subtext. Oh, oh, you want to come in? What if I said it? You want to come in? Well, that's not. Please come in. That's going to be. You want to come in? Please don't come in. Just go. So I could say, just go. That's the subtext. And the reason this is important is your acting choices will depend on this. Because again, if I do the line, and let's go full screen here. If I do the line, oh, you want to come in? There's worry in my face, and it's like, oh, I'm reaching out for them. That could be one of my acting choices. Oh, do you want to come in? Please come in. That's informing my audio or my acting and facial animation choices, because the thought process is you're in trouble. If it's you want to come in, it's like, you want to come in. Again, acting choices, because when I'm saying you want to come in, my thought process is don't come in. So it's very important that we know the subtext of this. Now, sometimes the subtext is exactly what they're saying. Do you want to come in? Hey, do you want to come in? That's the thought process. But it's always a good idea to go through and double check. We don't want to animate a line of dialogue and go halfway through our animation go, oh, whoops, that's not what the character meant. His voice doesn't match what he's doing anymore. And this is something I see a lot of in student animators. When they're first starting out, they forget this step, and they could have the best animation, but sometimes what the character is saying doesn't match with what they're doing. Even though dialogue-wise it does, subtext-wise, it just doesn't feel like that the voice line is part of this scene, if that makes sense. So again, we'll listen to this line of dialogue, and I hope this is actually interesting, because we're going to be listening to this over and over and over and over and over again. That's the process of this. And if this isn't interesting, or if you guys want something else, definitely let me know. I don't want to bore everyone with just listening to the same dialogue over and over and over again. And we can also do something like hand poses or something a little bit more visual. But let's play through this.
So, you came looking for black powder, did you?
So, that first line. So, you came looking for black powder, did you? What is he actually saying? What is his thought process? It's so cool to see how you do that. Well, I'm glad it's cool. Excuse me. Sorry, I didn't want to cough in the microphone. I need to learn to mute that before. So you came looking for black powder, did you? Let's do that. Let's play through it again and just listen.
So, you came looking for black powder, did you?
There's a few ways we can make this read. And this is because when you say something, it's not always clear in your voice line. One of the interpretations you can come with this is, so you came looking for black powder, did you?
So, you came looking for black powder, did you?
Is, what are you really here for? So he says, so you came looking for black powder, did you? And it could be an honest question, or acting choice wise, it could be, what are you really here for? No one wants this black powder. Like, no one's ever asked me this before. What are you here for? And then he can go, heh ha, his laugh. That could be the turning point in his mind, where he goes, oh, what are you really here for? It doesn't matter. So his laughter is, it doesn't matter. I'm going to sell it to you anyway. So what does it matter if you're here for something else? So we've got a thought process now. Suddenly he goes from, like, what are you here for? What do you really want? I don't care. Do whatever you want with it. So we've got this subtext. Is this the one we really want? I don't know. Let's listen to the line again.
So, you came looking for black powder, did you? No one asked about the black powder.
So that could be one line reading we do. Another one could be, let's see. So you came looking for black powder, did you? It could be more incredulous. So, like, you came looking for black powder? You came looking for that useless stuff? Again, no one's asked about it before, so this is a surprise to him. Why would he trust this person who's looking for black powder? So, try to think, and this is something I do for every shot, and as you can see here, this is me actually working out this shot. I haven't done any of this until this point. And it's trying to think through it. Don't skip this step. It's gonna hurt you later on. Or what's worse is it could make your dialogue boring. Because if the characters just say or act what they say, then you've got a boring scene. Or whereas kind of like, oh, I'm thinking about taking a sip of water and I might go to the beach, and it's just like they're acting out everything they're doing. Whereas if you think of the subtext, suddenly they're saying something but thinking something else. You've got depth to a scene. So it's like, so you're looking for black powder? So you're looking for black powder. It's not just asking, I'm thinking, what do you really want from me? Okay, so let's keep going here.
No one asked about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. Yes.
So this is, no one asked about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. I can visualize like, I knew it had a purpose. So what's he actually thinking here? At this point, I would see it being internal, because first he was asking a question, and now he's basically talking to himself, where he's kind of validating, like, all these years people thought I was crazy, but I knew I had a purpose. So it's this kind of like internal monologue. So let's see. Let's listen to that voice clip again.
It's about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose.
Let's goodbye.
No one asked about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. Yes.
Let's see. Purpose. If you just see me repeating it, I'm just trying to visualize how the scene would act out and try to visualize or internalize what he's thinking. So no one asked about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. Let's see. I think for now I'm just gonna go with my kind of first gut instinct is people thought I was crazy. But I knew all along. So something like that. I could refine this later on. This is just going to be a first draft. So, and even this, I could just write, and I knew it had a purpose. At that point, he's basically saying what he's thinking. But when he says no one asks about the black powder, it's like, why would people would just assume that he's this crazy guy collecting black powder? What use would that be? Let's see. Actually, let's see. Another line could be,
no one asked about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. Yes.
It might not be something about people thinking he was crazy, but maybe something about it's just been sitting there, but I knew. It's more instead of a like everyone thought I was crazy, but I showed them wrong. That kind of thing. Maybe it's a little bit more of it's been sitting there all these years, but I knew. It's kind of like a genie's lamp. Oh, it just looks totally mundane, but I knew there was something special about it. That kind of like hidden treasure. and now he knows it's important. He's discovered this thing that maybe he wasn't researching or like actively looking for a solution, but it's always been there, and no one asked about it. I never knew what to do with it, but I knew it had something. So it could be something like that. So in words, that would be...
No one asked about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. Yes.
Let's see. How to put that in words. Now, you don't really have to put this in words. You can just kind of think about it yourself. Like, this is just for yourself anyway. You don't have to put in words, because putting emotions into words can be difficult. But being able to put into words makes it easier to communicate to someone else later on, which is important. As animators, we need to be able to communicate with each other and share ideas and all of that stuff. So, no one asks about the black powder. No one asks.
No one asks about the black powder, but I knew it had a...
Okay, so no one asks about the black powder. Is kind of like, it's just being... I need to learn to type. Just being sitting there. But I knew it was important. So, it's just been sitting there. It's just been like at the edge of his corner of his eye. He's always had his eye on it. He couldn't put his finger on it, but now I knew it. I just knew it was important. Yeah, exactly. He seems kind of happy that someone finally asks him. That's kind of why I wanted to change from the crazy, because exactly that point there, he's happy that it's not like everyone thought I was crazy, but I knew. Whereas that's kind of like the internal, everyone, they're just calling me names and I'm gonna get them one day. That's not happy. That's internal anger. Whereas it's just been sitting there. It's almost excited. It's like, finally, the secret is unveiled. I knew it was important. The day has come. Yes. And that could be something else.
No one asks about the black powder, but I...
Instead of you're thinking no one asks about the black powder, what he could really be thinking is, someone's finally asked. Like, someone's finally asked about the black powder. Yes, I knew it was important. So, something like that. Again, this is not what he's saying. This is what he's thinking. It's going to drive the emotion, the acting of the scene. So, we can take different reads on this, and it doesn't have to be precise. It doesn't have to be like, once you put this down, that's all it's gonna be. No, it's just ways of us thinking about the scene differently and not just approaching it at face value. Have you took acting classes, and would you recommend them? I've never taken acting classes. I would love to, especially improv acting. It's something that I wish I could do, but there's no areas around here that teach it, unfortunately. So I'm out of luck there. But I would highly recommend, if anyone is interested in it, do it. It's only going to help you later on. So, I mean, would you recommend acting classes for animators? Yes, I would. Animators are actors. We're shy actors. We're actors who sit behind a screen and have the characters act for us, but we are actors. We have to think of the same thing as actors have to think of. We are performers. And if you take acting lessons, it's just going to help you learn to better act, which is only going to help you. It's the same with learning about cinematography and composition and things like that. it's not that that's going to be the first thing that you always do, but it is going to help you. And acting especially can be very helpful. And it makes it easier to act out your own video reference if you have to do that, which most animators do. So it helps all the way around. Now, do you have to be a actual actor by the end of it? Not at all. Do you have to be any good? Not really. As long as you just kind of get the principles in there. That's all that's really important. So yes, I would recommend, if you get the opportunity, take it. Do some improv acting, do some acting classes. It's just going to help you. So let's go for the next lines here.
Oh, it asked about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. Yes, you wish to buy it? How much do you want?
Okay.
But I knew it had a purpose. Yes, you wish to buy it? How much do you want? So, you came looking for black powder, did you?
So I'm gonna skip the yes ha line because that's it's almost him just breathing and kind of thinking to himself, like that kind of yes. He's kind of resetting his mind, kind of like if someone says or it's, but I knew it had a purpose. Yes, like he's switching gears. He's going from internal, but I knew it had a purpose, and then yes, oh yeah, you. So it's kind of a how to phrase this into words. I'm just gonna put switching gears. It's him going from internal to external. So it's just that kind of thing that everyone does, or most everyone does, where you can see I did it here. When I'm trying to think of something and I have to think of what I'm gonna say next, I'll put in uhs and ums and these filler words that are helping me both buy time, but also helping me switch gears if I have to think of one thing and then switch to something else. So that's what this kind of yes ha is, compared to this one above here, where it was more of a you came looking for black powder, did you? It's like, I don't care. You can do whatever you want with it. Because again, with the subtext, it's, what are you really here for? I don't care. Someone's finally asked. Like, he goes from suspicious to building excitement, because I knew that this powder was important. I don't care what you want it for. Someone finally asked. And then suddenly he goes back and switches and goes, yes, oh, you wish to buy it? How much do you want? So it's that switching gears and then going not so much back into the suspicious, but if you listen to his delivery here.
No one asked about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. Yes, you wish to buy it? How much do you want?
So you wish to buy it? That's pretty much what it is. You want to buy it? He's asking them directly. Hey, you want to buy it? He knows they've already asked. Now he's just double checking. You want to buy this? So I could just leave it as is. And how much do you want? He doesn't know, from what I'm guessing here, since no one's asked for it, how much is a normal amount that they would want. So
I knew it had a purpose. Yes. You wish to buy it? How much do you want?
So it's not that he's suspicious here, but now it's like he's getting frugal. How much do you want? He's kind of switching gears again, and going from excited to almost business. Let's listen to it again.
Yes. You wish to buy it? How much do you want?
How much do you want? It's going like deeper and more like personable, or not personable, but like kind of like he's silent, goes, how much do you want? So let's see.
you wish to buy it? How much do you want? You wish to buy it? How much do you want? So, you came looking for black...
Let's see. You wish to buy it? And then... How much do you want? I see what I want, but putting into words is... how much do you want? He's not trying to lowball them in any way, like trying to be a businessman in that sense. It's more of a...
You wish to buy it? How much do you want?
It almost sounds like he wants to give it away to me. Like the intonation of his voice.
Yes. You wish to buy it? How much do you want?
It's almost like, how much do you want? It's like, go on, take it. He's excited. It's almost like he's saying, I've got lots, I've got plenty. Bog. So, Liz, you wish to buy? I've got a lot. Like, buy lots. That kind of thing. So, this would be a first pass of the subtext of the shot. And as you can see, it took us a little bit here, but this is something I will do for every dialogue shot that I ever work on, because we need to know what that subtext is. We need to be able to figure out what the character is actually saying compared to, what they mean when they say something, what they're thinking of, that thought process. So, with this, we've got the subtext in. Now, I could refine this later on, and I might do that on my own time. But with that out of the way, the next thing that we need to do is work on the phonetics of the animation. And this becomes very important because... let me get my tablet set up here. The phonetics become very important because what a character, or how a character says something, is different than what is actually written, how they pronounce it. And we need to make sure that we write out the actual proper phonetic spelling of what they're saying. So let's kind of just focus on one line at a time here. And make sure that my tablet's working. Let's do. Okay. And let's just go black. Okay. So this is going to be, again, a lot of listening and back and forth. And again, I do hope this is actually interesting to listen to. I know it's just the same line over and over and over. And if you want me to move on to something else, let me know. I don't want to sit here for 3 hours just boring everyone with dialogue clips. But let's listen to this.
So, you came looking for black powder, did you?
So, when he's saying so, he's got a lisp. It's not so, it's show. And let me turn down the music here, just so it's a little easier to listen to. So, again, listen to the way he says so.
So, you came looking for black powder.
It's not so, it's show. Different mouth shape, show, compared to so. So, here it's going to be show. Oops. And I like to write this out manually. Now, I might have to make sure my tablet's straight. Show. Actually, show. And I'm just going to write this out like this for now, and then write it out a little bit more clearly afterwards. So we've got that.
So, you came looking for black powder, did you? You came looking for black powder, did you? So, you came looking for black powder, did you?
This is the tricky part. You really want to listen to it.
You came looking for black powder, did you?
One more time.
So, you came looking for black powder, did you?
So it's show EU. Let's see. Actually, one thing that you can do if you've got something like Photoshop, what I like to do is I'll increase the spacing of the letters, like so. This makes it easier to write things out, and you don't have to kind of cram it all in when you're writing things phonetically. So, you.
So, you came looking for black powder, did you? So, you came looking for black powder.
Now, another thing that can be very helpful is listening to it in the timeline here in Maya, because you can frame through it. So it's you. You get that you. It's not just. Some people go, so you came looking. They'll skip the E part of it. So you came looking. He's going, so you came looking. He's got the E sound in there. So it's you came. Oops. It's K. And then, so you came. Ooh. Oops. Let's see. Maya. You came looking. So it's not looking, it's looking. So I want to make sure I'm not good at writing in Photoshop. There's something about the brush settings that always make my everything so squiggly looking. But you can see how it's show you came it's not looking, it's because this is an oo sound right here. We're doing an sound, looking. And then looking. 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 Ing. Now this is another thing. He's going. So you came looking for black powder. He's not saying for. There's no R in there. It's for black powder. So we go full. And it's not even faux. It's full. You came looking for black powder. Are squiggly brushes a product of the brush flow settings? I think it has to do with my tablet settings set to Photoshop. So I've customized my tablet to work better with Clip Studio Paint. It's what I typically use for drawing. So if you... This is kind of going a little off topic, but it's just one of those things that you can do with your tablet. So for example, if I have this line here, you can see how it gets this very clean line here. And I have very clear stability over the pressure of that. I've set that up myself. So I can get this nice taper at the end of lines and whatnot. Now if I go into Photoshop, you can see that it's close, but there's a little wiggle right there. It's very subtle, but it makes it not as appealing, and especially when I'm writing slow. So for words, you can see how the pressure is weird in there. But then, because I set this up for my own handwriting, that brush is a little thick there. So you can see it's a little bit cleaner there. So our squiggly brush is the product. Yeah, so it's a mixture between the brush settings in Photoshop or whatever program you're using and your tablet settings as well. So typically when I'm using a program a lot, which is, for example, Clip Studio Paint, I'll go through my brush settings and really nail them down so that I don't have those squiggly lines. Photoshop I use more for image illustration, photo editing, not for drawing typically. In this case, you can correct with a Lazy Nezumi. Yes, Lazy Nezumi is an awesome plugin. I used to have it, but I can't remember where it is. I think I lost the installer. I'd have to download it again. But for anyone who doesn't know, it's basically a brush or a pen stabilization so that it will stabilize your writing in any program. Very useful, especially for things like Photoshop. Okay, so let's go back in here. So, I think it's more of a, not a pho, but a faux. Faux. Yeah, he's listening to again. I think it is faux. Faux. Bull. And then ah. And then if you listen, it's blah and then k. It's tiny. So I'm just going to put that very small for now. I'm going to rewrite all of this to be clearer. But listen to the way he says black. You don't hear the black k. It's blah. And it's almost, the k is under his breath, just black. It's almost an exhale, not an actual k sound. So it's black. It's almost just blah. You're looking for blah powder. Almost. And when we're doing the lip sync, that's going to be very important because we don't want a black k sound, really exaggerate the k sound, because he's not saying that. It's blah. Blah powder. So isn't it a G? Let's play it at speed here.
No one else? You came looking for black powder, did you?
Kind of sounds a little like black powder.
You came looking for black powder, did you? So, you came looking for black powder, did you?
I think I'll leave it blank mostly because g and k are a little different. G tends to bring the corners of the mouth like g. You could say g this way, but k, it pinches in the corners of the mouth a little bit more. So if I went g, it might round the mouth out a little too much, or it might lead me in the wrong place. So I'll leave it as a slight k for now, but we'll see. So now it's powder. So you're looking for black powder, and it trails off at the end. So you're looking for black powder. Came looking for black powder, did you?
Black powder, did you?
And then I like to go frame by frame just because it makes it easier to hear certain words. I love his accent on, did you? It goes up on the U. Okay, so go back to Photoshop. Did, it pretty much sounds like it is. Did. I'll just write it out as is. Did. E. Let's see. It's not an S on E. So. Did. And then U is E. U. So there you go. That's the first line. Now, forgive my. Sorry for the terrible handwriting. I'm going to write it out better afterwards. But you can see. So it's show you came looking for black powder. Did you? And my pronunciation is terrible, but this is what he's actually saying, or closer to. And this is going to be very important, especially for differences like this. Oo is not the same as The fact that the K here isn't a hard K. The fact that we don't see that R, really, for black powder. R is a very specific mouth shape. It's a very pinched corners. So if he's not actually pronouncing that R, we can flow from the FO into the B sound a lot more clearly. The fact that this is a sh, not a s sound. So we can keep going here.
Black powder, did you? No one else.
Okay, he almost goes. Hey. It's not just a he, it's a hey. It's a little more nasally. Hey, huh?
Powder, did you? No one else.
Or wait,
Did you? No one else.
it's close to both. Let me.
Black powder, did you? No one else.
Yeah,
Looking for black powder, did you? No
yeah.
one.
It's more of a hey. And this is one of those things. Just listen to it over and over and over and over again, and then ha. That ah sound. Let's see. Does he interject so before he ha? Does he? Have I missed that the whole time?
Black powder, did you? No one asked about the black
no,
powder.
it's-
Oh, you
it's
came looking for
close.
black powder, did you? No one asked.
No, it's you came looking for black powder, did you? And that oo is so pronounced, and then he goes into he ha. And that's what I like about this dialogue is that you at the end, he's got this crazy inflection in it, because most people would like did you, it would be did you. His is backwards. It's did you. It's this really crazy or exaggerated inflection at the end, which makes it very difficult to, when you're writing it out, it makes it sound like there's things that aren't there, which is always interesting with dialogue. Yeah, exactly. I wonder what that little sound was. That's exactly it. And this is one of those things that I both love and is kind of difficult when you're working with dialogue, is when you really start breaking it down, there's a lot of sounds that you wouldn't really expect to be there, or that seem like they're there but they're not. And it's just a really awesome thing about speech is how different it is depending on each person. I've done audio clips where I've done all of this stuff, and what they're saying, even though it registers in your brain like as normal speech, when you actually write it out phonetically, it doesn't look anything like actual words. It just looks like random sounds. But our brain just puts it all together. For example, even in this dialogue, when he says black powder, if you go frame by frame and really listen, there's no k sound, but our brain fills it in. It fills in the black k powder. And when you play it at speed...
So, you came looking for black powder, did you?
You hear the k, the black powder, but that sound's not in there. It's black powder. And it's, again, one of the things I love about audio is that kind of versatility of it. But it's also very frustrating at times. So let's go to the next line here. I'm gonna have to move all my layers over just a tad. Okay. So let's go to my brush settings. Okay, keep going with this.
Powder, did you? No one asked about the black powder, but no one asked about the black powder.
So no, that's pretty simple. No one. Let's. No one. No one. So what he's saying here isn't no one. It's no one. And so when we go into here, I'm gonna go no one. So it's no one. It just kind of goes into one word. No one. One. No one. No one. Let's listen to that again. No one. No one. So it's no one. No one. No one. One. So it's no one. Not no one. No one. One word. No one asks. Asks.
No one asked about the black powder. No one asked about the black powder.
Now, asks is an interesting word because it's going to be asks. So it's asks, and the thing with sks is it's the same shape. Sks. You can see I'm not changing my mouth. I go sks. So it's sks. That's going to be one mouth shape right there. Again, this is why phonetics is important, because we want to make sure that we're doing the sounds, not the letters. Now, in this case, it's the same thing, but you could go s, k, s. That's not it. Askus. That would be overdone. It's asks. So it's all, the mouth goes and then the teeth just close. Sks. Asks. It's almost one just shape right there, this whole word. No one asks. Let's go back here.
No one asked about the black powder, but no one asked about the black powder, but No one asked about the black powder.
Let's see. I'm just gonna write it here. Get back in line there. Bow. Bout. Now, the other thing to keep in mind with writing this, and I'll cover this in just a little bit here, is the important sounds. Yeah, I'll actually cover that later. But about, and then the, it's not the, it's the.
No one asked about the black powder. But
Yeah, he's not saying the black powder, it's the black powder. And then black. Look at that horrible wobbly line. Look at Bull. Black.
no one asked about the black powder. But hey,
Yeah, he's not saying k again. It's
no one asked about the black powder.
he's got that slur, that lisp.
No one asked about
The blah. Yeah. So you can see how it's blah, and then it's just, you can even see in the waveform here, blah right there, and then it just fades off. There is a little bit of a K in there, but just ever so slightly. I'm just going to put that smaller there for now. Then powder.
no one asked about the black powder. But he knew.
Powder. He really pronounces powder. Ow. Powder. Black powder.
Asked about the black powder. But he knew it had a purpose. Yes.
But I knew it had purpose.
Asked about the black powder. But he knew it had a purpose.
But I knew.
Black powder. But he knew it had a purpose. Black powder. But he knew it had a purpose.
Okay, he says but. He pronounces the T. But. That's going to be very important dialogue-wise, because a T sound, the tongue flicks off the roof of your mouth. So but. If he went, but I knew, I wouldn't need that tongue flick. But since it's in there, but I knew, I'll need to have that in there. Oops. But.
But he knew it had a purpose. Asked about the black powder. But he knew it had a purpose. Yes.
But I is an interesting, like, even if it's just one letter, I is, it can be pronounced in a lot of different ways. In this case,
But he knew it had a purpose. Powder. But he knew it had a purpose.
I, so it's oops, E, but I knew, I knew. And this is kind of, it all ties in because it's I knew. So it goes, I knew. The mouth goes out, then in. I knew. I knew. I knew. Oops. I knew. What would make a difference between powder and powder? Would that be enunciation in a way that needs a fuller visual. The way I pronounce it, and this is something to keep in mind. What I'm writing here, this is kind of my version, what makes sense to me, because this is not actual pronunciation like dictionary pronunciation. If you're doing dictionary pronunciation, you'd have all sorts of like umlauts and things like that to get the pronunciation just right. This is just what the sound sounds like in layman's terms, in mouth shape terms. So there's really no like you have to do it this way or that way, and it has to be written out this way versus that. So whatever makes sense for you. Now for me, this is powder, where it goes from d to just pinching the mouth. If I was to write it powder like that, that's technically how, like, it's der, but it's I would pronounce this powder. So it's p-ow der. So it's powder versus powder, whereas just der. You can see, let me go full screen. So instead of powder, you can see der, it's powder. The mouth just goes der. So that's my pronunciation, or the way I kind of visualize these pronunciations. Again, if you pronounce this powder, then that's perfectly fine. For example, powder, some people might write pow. Let's see. Pow. Air, like powder. Some people might write it like that. Some people might write it like this. Everyone's different. Whatever makes sense for you. Again, this is for you specifically. Yeah, there's no specific rules. Whatever works best for you. Seems like you're keeping it more simple anyway, which conventional wisdom seems to guide animators towards. Yeah, that's with lip sync. You do want to keep it a little simpler, because it's always better to have less movement than more movement, or else the mouth is always constantly moving and you can just see it popping and moving all over the place. Whereas in real life, when you watch someone talk, their mouth doesn't really move all that much unless they're really exaggerating what they say. But even then, it's simpler shapes. So I'm trying to find the flow of the words, if that makes sense. I knew. But I knew.
But I knew it had a purpose. Yes, older. But I knew it had a purpose. Yes.
I knew it. Now he's not saying eat.
I knew it had a purpose.
Where is he?
Asked about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose.
It. But I knew it. Some people pronounce it as eat, so I knew eat had a purpose. He's saying it. So I knew it. Knew it had, and you can see my writing's all over the place. I don't mind right now. I want to keep it nice and just keep on going with it. But I knew it had a purpose.
I knew it had a purpose. Yes.
Had it's a purpose, not a purpose, a purpose. And her
It had a purpose. Yes. But I knew it had a purpose. Yes.
Purpose. He's not saying purpose, it's purpose. An sound. Purpose. So you can see just how it affects things.
It had a purpose, yes.
Purpose.
I knew it had a purpose, yes.
He kind of says that. So, had a purpose. There you go. Then, yes.
Had a purpose, yes.
He has an intake of breath there as well.
It had a purpose, yes. It was to buy it.
Yeah. Oops. Yes.
It was to buy it. How much do you want? Yes. It was.
Yes. Yes. And then ha. Yes. Now, yes.
Purpose. Yes. It was.
Yes. He's not going yes. Yeses. He's going yes. He's got that lisp. Yeah. So yes. And I want to double check that he doesn't have that lisp on purpose.
Black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. Yes.
No, that's an S sound.
It was to buy it. How much do you want?
Okay, let's keep
It
going.
had a purpose. Yes. It was to buy it. How much do you?
This is you. You wish.
Had a purpose. Yes. It was to buy it. How much?
Let's see.
It was to buy it.
You wish. You wish. So here he's not saying you wish. So you wish. He's saying you wish. You ish. You wish. So again, phonetics very important here. You wish. E-U-ish. To.
Knew it had a purpose. Yes. Yes. It was to buy it. How much do you?
To. Buy. You wish to buy? Buy. You wish to buy? Buy. It's not buy. It's buy. Buy. Yeah. You wish to buy? Buy. Buy it.
It was to buy it. How much?
Actually, it's buy it. Buy it. Let's buy it. You wish to buy it. So what we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words that go into 3. 1, 2, 3. You wish to buy it. Yeah. Okay. You wish to buy it. How much do you want?
You wish to buy it? How much do you want? You wish to buy it? How much do you want?
He's using a lot of nasal in there. You can really hear the almost snorting of the sound. How?
To buy it? How much do you want?
Now he's slurring. It's how much? How much? How much? How much? It's one word almost. How much?
Buy it? How much do you want? To buy it? How much do you want?
Do you? It's not do you, it's do you. Do you? How much do you?
How much do you want?
Then what? Want.
How much do you want? How much do you want?
Want. So my tablet was crooked apparently. So instead of you wish to buy it, how much do you want? It's you wish to buy it. How much do you want? You can see the difference right there. So that is the phonetics of it. You wish, or you came looking for black powder. Did you wish? Did you? Did you? Now, when you try to read it like this, you're going to mispronounce it because we're so used to reading like that trying to actually read it out loud like this can be very tricky. A lot of time, you're just going to start reading it like looking for... Like your brain isn't used to reading things like this. But when we apply this to our animation, it's going to make much more sense when we're doing the mouth shapes. That's the main thing that we're looking for, the mouth shapes. So we've got this. So I could go through and double check everything. For now, I think we're pretty good. So let's see. The next step here is first I did the subtext. Next I did, let me just put it this way here. Next I did the phonemes. So this was how he's actually saying the lines versus how he's how the words are actually written out. Next I need to do the phrasing. The phrasing is going to be very important in order to know what is important in a sentence. So I'm going to make a new layer here. Let's turn down the opacity on this one. Oops, on this one. And basically what I'm going to do now, actually, let's turn down the opacity and then just move it underneath. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to re-listen to it, but this time I'm going to be focusing on the emphasis, the actual intonation of the lines to figure out what is the most important words. Now, something that can help with this is looking at your waveform down here in the audio. This is going to help you figure out which parts of the sentence are the most important. So, for example, here, when he's saying show, he's got that sh sound, but it's the O that's important. Hey Daniel, how's it going? We're just doing some, we just finished the phonemes for this sentence, and now we're doing the phrasing for the sentence. For anyone who just jumped in as well. So for example, here, when we look at it normally, it's S-O. So you get this so. But that's not how he's saying it. He's saying so. He's rising on the O. So it's going to be, oops, make sure I'm on the right layer there. It's going to be show. Show. we can see it go up there. Show.
You came looking for you came looking.
Okay, let's see.
You came looking for black powder.
Joe.
So, you came looking for black powder, did you?
And then
You came looking for
blah. That's going to be the next big one. So I like to skip ahead, look for the big ones, and then kind of fill in between. It's kind of like looking for the contact poses. There's going to be blah. Oops. Blah. Black. Again, the K is nearly silent. So black. And then powder is pretty high as well. Yeah, black. Black. Let's see. Powder. So I'm basically doing the same thing, but now I'm trying to look at the intonation and see how the sentences rise and fall compared to, or sorry, the words and the whole line rises and falls compared to itself. So, black powder, and then you can, you? There's something about the way it says you there.
Came looking for black powder, did you?
Yeah, it's just so did he ooh and then did is did. Oops. Okay. And then so you so you came. Let me write that the same way. Came looking.
You came looking. You came looking.
Looking. Oops. Make sure I try to write that the same. Looking for black powder. Now I'm gonna make sure that that's all in line later on, but that's basically what I'm doing at the moment, is trying to figure out the intonation and the flow of the sentence, so that we know that, oh yeah, this section here is very important. So is this, and this. Those are his big moments where he's going to be a little bit more excited. There's just going to be more in that line there. So let's keep going.
How did you? No one asked about. How did you? No.
So it's hey, then then see,
Did you? No one asked about the black powder.
no one asks is the ask here. Asks. So it's no one asks about.
No one asked about the black powder, but I knew it.
Black powder.
No one asked about the black powder, but I knew.
Powder is, again, powder. But black, it's not like before where it's black powder. This one's just black powder. So, black asks about the black powder.
But I knew it had a purpose. Yes.
Oops.
You wish to buy it? How much do you want?
So purpose is purpose. Oops. My writing is always crooked. My tablet keeps sliding. Purpose. So you can see it goes up like that. Purpose. Let's keep going here.
But I knew it had a purpose. Yes.
But I knew it had a is pretty
You wish to buy it? How much do you want?
it's pretty linear, so but he knew it had. I'm gonna write that out all clearly afterwards. What tablet did I get? I have an Intuos 3. An old Intuos 3 tablet. It still works perfectly fine. I really like it. My brother here on this setup, he has an Intuos 4 tablet. So, the newer tablet. Unfortunately, we can't get it to work right now on that setup, which is a shame, but I think it's just a driver issue. And then my brother actually has a Cintiq as well, which is a lot of fun, which is perfect for him because he does illustration. So let's see. But for animation, typically, you don't need like a Cintiq or even an Intuos Pro now. A regular Intuos is just fine, or there's a bunch of new brands as well. Whatever you're most comfortable with and what fits your budget, really.
Knew it had a purpose. Yes. You wish to buy it?
Yes, ha. So this one is kind of the opposite. It's sh ha. Ooh, a big one? Yeah, his Cintiq is the 27 QHD. So the newest model, the really big 27-inch one. It's really cool. Really, really good tablet. It's expensive, definitely. But for him, it was worth it because of all the illustration he does. If you're just doing animation or you're just starting to draw, that's a huge investment. I would recommend just getting a normal tablet. What's the point of a pen tablet with a screen? It avoids the hand-eye coordination issue. So, for example, when you're drawing normally, so if I had pen and paper here, when I'm drawing, let's go full screen here. When I'm drawing, I look at the paper, and then I see exactly what I'm doing. The pen is exactly where it is on the paper. And that leads to a much higher hand-eye coordination accuracy, because you can exactly see where you're going to go from point A to point B. When you're working on a tablet, just a regular tablet here, if I have a document here and I have to go from point A to point B, well, if I look down at my tablet, there is nothing telling me where point A begins, where point B ends. I'm just going to have to guess it. And it's not so much of a guess, but it requires a lot more practice to get that hand-eye coordination so that you can go from there to there. And you can see it takes a few tries. And the other thing to keep in mind is what happens if you rotate your tablet. So if you've been in the stream since the beginning here, you'll notice me mention that, oh, my tablet's crooked. Well, if I'm doing a straight line like that, well, you can see that it wasn't straight. I'll rotate my tablet and do the exact same line. Like that. Rotate my tablet again. Now it's like that. So you have to be very careful when you're drawing and doing things that the angle of your tablet doesn't change on you. Or that you get used to that current angle. So that you can make nice straight horizontal lines or vertical lines. And for me, what tends to happen is if I'm writing something especially, I won't notice that I'm nudging the tablet, and then my writing will start like that, and then it'll start going up like so. And you can see it here. If I open up Photoshop here. Look at my handwriting. There you go. So you can see, if I hide all of this, at the beginning it was straight-ish, but look at what happened by the end there. I'm writing extremely crooked. Look at that. Whereas at the beginning, I'm a little crooked. You can just walk up to a Cintiq and use it with no learning curve. Exactly. It's like drawing on paper. Other tablets have that initial adjustment. Exactly. Now, does it take a long time? No. If you just practice with it, you'll get used to it. And some people get so used to working on a tablet that they then have trouble working on pen and paper with a Cintiq screen display. So it really is... Does it matter in the end? No. The big thing with getting a Cintiq is getting that, or any screen display, is getting that 1-to-1 ratio. Where if I have a piece of paper here, and I have 2 dots, let's see, so 2 dots right there, I know that I just have to put my pencil there, and then go to there. I've got that visual, and I blew out the color calibration on my webcam here. But it's that visual, I know exactly where I want to go to where I want to go. No matter if I took this piece of paper and rotated it, I know that that's the line I have to do. Whereas with a tablet, I can see it on screen, but I don't have the physical manipulation of it that I would have normally. Again, that's not an issue. You just do a few test lines, and then you'll get it. But it is that extra step. I hope that makes sense. For animation, it really doesn't matter because a tablet is more than enough. Don't know about anyone else, but I try to rotate between mouse and stylus when using Maya. I tend to use the stylus exclusively when I'm animating, just because that's what I'm used to, and I find it gives me more natural controls. I use the mouse when I'm modeling or rigging. So I'm always going back and forth between the two. And mostly because with modeling and rigging, I need very precise selection and movement. So I need to move things at a very specific spot, or I need to select a very specific thing that's very small. The mouse gives me that precision. The tablet, my hand shakes a little bit. So when I'm trying to select something in Maya, sometimes, especially when it's very small or if it's precise, I'm just going to keep missing and missing and missing and missing and missing and missing. It is annoying. I keep selecting everything else. With animation, that doesn't matter. That little shake of my hand isn't going to affect what I'm doing because it's more broad, more big motions. And if I do need to do anything small and like really subtle, I can use tools like the graph editor to create those very slight movements without having to do tiny little movements with my hand. So definitely keep familiar with both, and that goes for everyone. Don't forget one or the other, because sometimes you will be forced to work with a mouse at one studio and then maybe a tablet at another. And force isn't the right word, but you'll have to kind of be able to switch on the fly. Mouse is very good for tiny adjustments when counter enemy. Exactly. When you need small, just tiny little movements, that's really nice. And I have a gaming mouse here. I do a lot of gaming, but the reason I have this mouse is it has DPI adjustment. So, for example, if I move my cursor across the screen, this is normal. I'm just moving it like 2 or 3 inches on my desktop, and it's moving this much. Actually, maybe it's just about 2 inches. Well, with that same amount of movement, just by clicking a button on my mouse, I can do this. So now it's just whizzing by. Or I can do this. So, same amount of movement, but I'm only moving a tiny little amount. And I can even slow it down like so. So, I can really speed up or slow down my cursor for precise motions. I can't do that with the tablet. The tablet is 1-to-1. So, whatever I get is what I get. So, yeah. I use both, but I have to admit, animation, I almost 100% use the tablet unless it's something very specific that I need the mouse for. So let's finish our last sentence here.
Yes. You wish to buy it? How much do you want? Okay. Yes. Yes. You wish to buy it? How much do you want?
So the inflection here is on it. Buy it. It goes up. Buy it. It. And buy it. Goes up there. To. And then you wish is just you wish. You wish to buy it. So it's you ish to buy it. And then how much do you want?
Wish to buy it? How much do you want? So you came
that's
looking?
Pretty monotone.
You wish to buy it? How much do you want?
There's a little inflection though.
You wish to buy it? How much do you want?
It's how much do you, so it kind of goes up there, want. Okay, so there is my phrasing. Now you can see that went pretty quickly, and that's really all that I need. So with this, I'm going to actually rewrite my sentences, because like you can see here, my writing is terrible. My handwriting sucks. So let's hide some layers that we don't need here. And I'm just going to write this out in Photoshop to make it a little easier. So, show you came looking in. I think I'm going to looking. Looking faux la powder did you? So you can see that's a lot easier to look at right there. And then if I wanted to, I can go in and push it even more by changing the font size. So for example, let's say I'll do 18. Let's see. This is going to be let's change the whole thing first. Let's change this to 12. Oops. No, I don't want to write it out. Okay, there you go. So, show. Then, not 116, just 16. You. So, show you game looking for blah. How? Sure. So I can do it like that if I wanted to give myself even more control over what sounds are the biggest, which sounds are less. Now, me personally, I don't like to go that far. I find just this is enough, because at some point there's over planning where you're just writing every single little detail down, and I don't know, it seems like overkill to me. So let's go. Huh? I'm gonna listen to that again.
How did you? No one else?
Hey. The problem with this is I keep reading it as hein, instead of hey. Hey. Hint. Huh? Hey. I'm trying to figure out how I would write and oh, thank you. Yeah, I love this song. As soon as it came on, it's just this is one of my favorite songs of all time. It's not it's and the problem is I'm French, so is a very specific sound in French. And I'm trying not to write it in French because that throws me off, because everything else is written in English. Can't place the origin though. This is Super Mario 64, the slippery slope, when you're racing the penguin down in I forget the name of the level. It's getting my oh, thank you, Frost Lightyear, for staying up and following along with this. Oh, cool. Yeah, and the video should be uploaded, I'm hoping tonight. I haven't done the last few because I've been too busy with work, but I should be able to get them all up hopefully tonight, and also on YouTube, I'm hoping. So thank you very much for stopping in, and hope you have a awesome holiday season, and I'll hopefully see you in the new year. So hey. Stay frosty. Hey, I think I'm just gonna go ha for now, because that's a little bit more what the mouth shape's gonna do. Hey ha. And then let's see. Oops. Go down. No one asks about the black powder, but I knew I think I might. I knew. Is it I knew or I knew?
Powder, did you? No one asked about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's I knew. Yeah, I knew. Yeah. Had let's shrink this down a little bit. Purpose. Maybe I'll just keep it purpose like that. I don't want it to kind of wave too much. Okay, a few more lines and then we'll be good to go. So, yes. Oops. Yes. Huh? And yes, Futura font. I love the Futura font. It's one of my favorites. So nice and clean, and so easy to read too. Yeesh. To buy it. How much do you want? Okay, so let's hide this layer. Look at that, nice and clean. None of my terrible handwriting anymore. Let's just line this up here. Oops. Make sure I have the right layer. There you go. Oh. There you go. Verdana? I used the Verdana font. I think I have it on here. Yeah. Verdana is another nice one. I personally prefer the Futura just because it's got a nice flow to it. Nice, like the O's are nice and round, and everything's just kind of really clean about it. Okay, so I think that's pretty much my my phonetics and my my phrasing. So this is going to be very important for me. I know, like we've spent how much time now? 2 hours just doing this. But by doing all of this first, before you approach your shot, it'll make it much easier to start animating. Now, we still have a few more steps to do. The next step that we have here is that we need to figure out the importance of our letters. And the importance is basically what sounds are we going to have to hit. And basically the way you figure out importance is figuring out where in the mouth does a shape happen. So for example, sounds like P, B, and V. P, B, and V. Let me go full screen here. If you look at those sounds, they all look very similar. M, B, and P. And they're all this sound. And then with P and B, it's the closed lips, and then explosive. It's P, B. It's this explosive sound, and that's why you have, when you have microphones, a little spit guards there, because plosives like that will spike the mic. So you have to have a windbreak in front of the mic in order to avoid the sound blowing out. But those are made with our lips. It's very important. If we don't hit those, for example, if I say beautiful, if I don't get the beau, that closed lips, it's not going to read. I can't even say it without closing my lips. Beautiful. Like, try saying the b sound or p or v or m without or sorry, not v. V is different. W. W. The w sound is another one, whereas w, you can't go w. Yeah, it's very difficult. Those w. Other ones are f and v. The f sound and v sound. You can see v, f. So we need to figure out all those important sounds. R's are very important because when we do the R, it's the corner of the mouth closing together. R. How R, U, instead of O, where it's round. Now, I don't know how clear it's coming on my webcam here because of the angle and everything, but there's those different mouth shapes. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to mark down shapes I need to hit. Another one is like ooh. The ooh sound is very important because ooh. You can't say ooh by going ooh. It's not ooh, it's ooh. So let's go through again. And this time I'm just going to circle or mark all the important sounds. Let's take a different color. And I'm going to see if I can use a different pen, just to see if I can get better lines here. Maybe use one of these fancy pens that Maya or Photoshop has. Let's see, which one was it that I liked? Was it? No. There's a square pencil brush that I like here. Charcoal. This one? Yeah. Okay. We'll stick with that. Okay. So the sounds we're looking for are p, buzz, v. So came. This is going to be very important right there. And I do passes on this. So first, the most important ones are p, b, m, and w. So, so let's see. Looking for F and V is also another very important one. So F, black, pow, pow. That's the w, powder. U is another very important one. U. Let's see. No one asks. No one asks about. TH is another important one. The, because we can't do, say the without kind of putting our tongue between our teeth. The, or yeah, black, pow, sure, but I, can't forget that. These are super important. BP, pow. So that powder is going to be a very important one. Powder. I had a purpose. And I like to write all those down because there's so many. Like, I've got all the important ones written down here. And I just go through and make sure I've got everything. No one asked about the black powder, but I knew who it had a. Okay. Yes. Let's see. You. Important. Ish to b. Very important. Yet. How much do you want? Okay. And you can see I just keep going back and forth. You're not going to find everything all at once, or you could, but it's not super important that you do. You just keep going back and forth. So another sound that we need is the th sound. Let's double check that we have all the ths. I knew it had a purpose. Yes, huh? You wish to buy it? Okay. Yeah, huh? Okay, so we've got all the ths. Another sound we need is the t, d, s, z, n, and l sound. The family, basically. This is when the tip of the tongue hits the back of the teeth. So, for example, when you say two, you get that two. The tongue goes up. You, su, zoo. Zoo is zoo. You can't really go zoo. You have to close your teeth. Zoo. New. Loo. Things like that. So let's go through. So that kind of ew sound. Looking. You. To do. No one asks about the powder. I knew, so right there. Let's put that above here. It's not as important as the others, so I'm trying to break it up. It had a purpose. E. Let's see. Yes, too bad to buy it. How much do you want? Okay. So you can see at this point it's just picking out the important sounds. The ones that the mouth has to hit. R's are very good ones, so powder. Let's do boxes for the ers. Came looking for the powder, did you? No one asked about the black powder. But I knew it had a purpose. You should buy it? How much do you want? Okay. We can look for sh, j, ch, like sh sounds, because again that's a very the sh sounds like rush. It's the blade of the tongue working with the palate of the mouth. So I'm gonna look for those and show. He's got a lisp, so this is going to be very important to show that lisp. I can't go so. I need to go show. Show. You came looking for some black powder, and that this applies for ch, like the J sound, j, like ridge, things like that. Also for like y sounds like yaw. So, the black powder, I knew it had a purpose. Isha, wish, no, ish. I missed the first of the stream, so you may have already covered this. But how do you go finding a dialogue clip? The way I find dialogue clips is I just look online or watch TV and keep a list of any dialogue clip that I find interesting. The thing I try not to do is looking on sites for dialogue clips. Now, those are good when you're still learning or when you don't have time to look for anything else, because especially as a student, oh boy, it can be hard to find clips. And especially if you haven't found some and you wait until the assignment, you're not going to need a clip quickly. But in general, those types of clips are usually overdone. They're usually, everyone's already gone through them, picked the best ones and done them already. So the best way to find dialogue clips is just to watch things and keep a list of any dialogue clip that you would like to animate. That's how I found this one here. I was just watching some videos online and I liked it so much that I just got it and I wanted to plan this out. Oh, I need to make sure I get due here. Duh. So that's the way I typically find them. Now, when you are looking for dialogue clips, when you are looking for dialogue clips, keep in mind that there are certain things that you want to avoid if possible. You don't always have to avoid them, but clips that are super popular. So, for example, Luke, I am your father. Well, that's the misquote of the line, but that famous line from Star Wars. You don't want to animate that typically because everyone knows it. Unless you've got like a totally new idea for it. Try to avoid popular ones like that, or with very recognizable actors. Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, especially Robin Williams. He's been so animated, like with the genie, or Tom Hanks with Woody, that when you hear their voices in an animation, you start to assume that they should be that character, not someone else. They're so recognizable as these characters. So those are the main things. You can don't take that as a solid rule, though. You can, if you really feel passionate about a clip, feel free to use it. But just be aware that people will judge it more because of those criteria. They'll judge it because they've got this preconception of what that clip is. Now, one rule that I really try to avoid breaking is try not to use clips from animated things, because someone's already animated it, and by animating it yourself, you're just going to be getting people to compare your shot to the original clip. So don't take things from Toy Story or from let's say Rick and Morty or any show like that, any animated show. It just begs your animation to be compared. Ideally, clips from things that people really haven't heard of too much before, or from podcasts, because podcasts are great. They've got no visuals to them. So when you're animating it, you're animating something completely new. Even if it's a popular clip, people haven't seen it before. So things like that can be very useful. YouTube clips, things like that. So yeah. The other thing that I would tend to try to avoid, although this is hard to avoid, and you can see it in this clip, try not to get clips with laugh tracks in them. Now, the clip I have here, let me play it for anyone who hasn't heard the whole thing yet.
So, you came looking for black powder, did you? No one asked about the black powder, but I knew it had a purpose. Yes. You wish to buy it? How much do you want?
So you can hear there's laughter in the background. And usually I really try to avoid that. This isn't a laugh track. It was just someone on a podcast laughing along with the person. But I like the clip so much that I decided I want to animate it anyway. And that's okay. If you really feel passionate about a clip, do it. Don't feel like, oh, I really love this clip, but oh man, there's just a little bit of a laugh, or oh, it's Tom Hanks or something like that. if you really love it, go for it. Really, the only time I don't do that is if it comes from something animated. That's kind of my biggest rule, because I'm just begging people to compare my animation with the original.
So,
I hope that makes sense.
You came looking for black powder, did you?
There you go.
No one asked about the black...
Accidentally hit play. So I think I've got most of this written out here. Let's just see. I need to make sure I have... let's see. Anything else? Things I'm looking for are, aside from these, are co-articulation, diphthongs, the R sound, and then cognate pairs. Now, all of that is basically just fancy language for words that move in certain ways. So co-articulation is when a word blends into another. So, for example, to buy it, it's to buy it. It's almost one word. Here, do you? It's do you. It just kind of merges into one. Diphthongs are when your jaw drops down for a word. The letter R is important because we have to pinch the corner of our mouth to create it. R. So when we see an R, it's going to be very important to kind of make sure that that mouth goes into that that pinch shape. And then cognate pairs are shapes that look the same. So like sh and ch. If you look at my mouth, sh, ch. If I wasn't saying anything, can you tell which one it is? Or b and p. If I go quiet enough so that it doesn't register on my mic, which one was b and which one was p? It's the same shape. So cognate pairs are words that have the same shape. In this case, I don't really have to worry about it too much right now, but it's something I have to be aware of when I get into the actual clip here. So there you go. This is my list of dialogue. So I've got my my phonetics, my phrasing, and my importance up here. I've got the actual line of dialogue, and then I've got the subtext. These things are going to be super important for when I start animating my dialogue, because it'll allow me to really get a firm grasp on what's supposed to be there instead of what I think should be there, or what the English language or whatever language you're animating in makes you think should be there. For example, looking. The character is saying looking, not ooking, looking. So I hope that all makes sense. Let me save that. So from there, we could just call it here. But there is another step I like to do, and this is kind of an old-fashioned step that I don't really see too many people do anymore. But I like to do it because I find it really helps me speed up my workflow when I'm actually doing lip sync. And that is X sheets. So let me clear out some stuff here, and I'll just kind of show you the way I fill this in. So this is an X sheet I created. It's not perfect. I forgot to get rid of this line right there in the action area. But I just created this yesterday based off of X sheets that Eric Goldberg uses in his book here. So I figured I'd bring the book instead of just talking about it. So Character Animation Crash Course. Great book. This is one of my favorite books when I first started learning how to do dialogue. This one was the most important to me, book-wise. I'm really getting a handle on it. So with X sheets, they are basically sheets that would have been used in 2D animation to figure out the timing of dialogue or of a scene, to plan out your scene. Now, the top area here, this is just where you would write in the title and everything that you need. So this would be, I'm just going to call this black powder, like that. You'll have your production, sequence, and scene numbers if you're in a production. This is going to be scene 1. A sheet number, if you have multiple sheets, which one is it? So this is sheet 1. Like so. Now you've got the areas down here. The action area is going to be what's happening on screen. So this is what's actually happening, just kind of the narration of what's happening on screen. Dial is dialogue. I could have written it out full. I think I would have had room for dialogue, but this is where you put the dialogue. Camera instructions. This is where you'll put in your camera instructions. Is it going to be a close-up? Is it going to be a medium shot, a long shot, establishing? Is it going to be panning? Is it going to be trucking in? All that good stuff. The book is ordered. Nice. It's my favorite, one of my favorite animation books. It's so good. So that's the ends there. And the section that kind of tricks people when they're first getting started is this section right here. This middle section. And can you send us the sheet? I could include it in the survival guide next term for class 4, since that's when you do dialogue. I think we already have some in there, X sheets. I can't remember exactly which ones. I'll have to double check. But yeah, definitely there will be X sheets in the survival guide. But this section over here, this has to do with older animation, because if you imagine 2D animation, it's on layers. So this would be your layers, and you read it from right to left. So you have your background layer, and then you would have all the additional layers for your characters. So for example, this could be the background. If they're on a moving train, this would be the train. And then you'd have character 1. We'll just give them a name instead. So this will be Bob. And then this will be Steve. So all the Steve cells are going to be on here, all the Bob cells. And then you might have like the effects like dust. Oops, not B. Dust. And so on. So this just allows you to time all these different things together. Now in this scene, since we've only got one crazy old guy, I really don't have to worry about this. And in CG, you don't have these layers. You don't have these cells that have to go one on top of another in a specific order. It's just kind of whatever you have, you have. So it's not as important for us anymore, this section. Let's see. I'm just going to switch pencils here. Something that's a little easier to write small with. Okay. So with that, and then I've got all the frame numbers. So I just put this in the middle. This is going to be Old Man. I'm just going to call him that for now. I should give him a proper name, but for now it's just going to be Old Man, and these are all the frame numbers. And you'll notice that it's split in 8s. So from 1 to 8, 9 to 16, it's all 8 frame sections. The reason for this is X sheets are measured by the foot, not so much by a specific frame. And 8 frames is a good way of breaking it up because it's musical. And especially like if you think of old Disney animations and stuff, they were always animated to music, like Silly Symphonies and all of those, Merry Melodies and Warner Brothers and all of those. And by breaking it up into 8 frames, it helps make it easier to see, so you're not just looking at a big, huge sheet, but also it helps you time things to music a little bit better. So, with this, as I'm timing this out, all I really need to do now is look at a few different things. I need to see my action and dialogue. Those are going to be the most important ones right here. And my frame numbers. I have a question about animating to music. Ask away, definitely. I'd be happy to answer that. So I'm going to have Maya open here. And I'm going to just kind of bring this section in a little bit so I can get closer to the time there. And then I'm going to need this sheet right here. Now, I've got another monitor. I'm just going to put it on there so that we can still have room over here. But it's just off screen, so if you're curious. Or actually, maybe I'll just try to fit it in here so everyone can see what's happening. And let's see if I can squeeze this. Oops, grab a corner of it. And bring it right there. Okay. So now we've got all the important information. Excuse me. So now we just need to fill in the X sheet. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that. So I'm going to be going based off of this book. So if you open it up here, I like to use the Eric Goldberg method. So just to kind of give an example here. Let's see. I don't even know if that's reading very well. Yeah, there. So he shows an example of how he would fill that sheet in. And I find it's just a very nice, simple way of doing it. Very clear, very legible. So let's see. It's something I'd like to do in class 3, but I wonder if I'm overlooking some danger of skipping physicality lessons. This is a good question, so I'll cover this right away, because it is something that I see a lot of people do. And oh, there's the stream cat. Not sure if it'll be a balancing act or a non-issue altogether with audio maybe not being allowed. The problem with doing something musical, and this also goes with things like dancing, with ballet and stuff like that, they're not a bad thing to do. I don't want to say this this next thing and make it sound like, oh, don't do dancing, don't do this, don't do that. No, they are good to do. But keep in mind that they are not actual motions that you would do in real life. So what I mean by this is the point of doing a physicality assignment, typically, is to learn how things move. So for example, a vanilla walk. Everything you learn in a vanilla walk can be added and applied to any walk afterwards. Some things won't fully apply, some things might be left out, but all the rules still apply. Now, with something like a dance is a choreographed movement. It is not how we move naturally. So anything that you learn while doing a dance may not be applicable to anything else other than that very specific dance, if that makes sense. It's one of those things that you'll still learn from it, but the things you learn might not be applicable to everything else that you do. Whereas doing a physicality of character running, or picking up something heavy or something light, that type of physicality can be applied to a dance or to a ballet or a musical type number. So it's kind of the you have the base movement and physicality that humans have as a default, and then you have this kind of choreographed, or it's so practiced that it's not really natural anymore. It looks amazing, but it's not how we would move day to day. I hope that makes sense. So when you're doing a dance assignment, again, it's not that it's bad to do it, but it could. I don't want to say it'll cause problems. It won't. But you might not learn as much as if you did something else in terms of applying it to future assignments and future lessons. I might message you about this then. I'm looking to animate general physicality. Okay, not choreographed or performance. But I'm talking about timing, action to music. Okay, that's different. If you just want to do the timing to music, that's actually something I do all the time. So let's say I'm doing an action scene, and I want it to be like really spontaneous. The word is not coming. I want a lot of spontaneity in it, and I want it to have like lulls and then big and then lulls again. I might pick a song that I love that's got a lot of action to it, or that's just got this feeling that I want in my animation, and then I'm not going to follow it exactly, but I might use it as inspiration for the highs and lows. I'm trying to think if I have any songs on my computer here that I can use as an example. Let's see. I'm looking right now. I think mostly I have quiet songs on this computer. My brother has all the albums that we have on his computer. The joy of trying to organize two computers and kind of make a library of it all is that suddenly you don't have anything on your computer. Let's see. Do I have something actiony? Or at least something that's not just slow. Let's see. Check out Unsquare Dance from Rubeck. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So let's bring this in so everyone can see. And I'm going to stop the music for just a second here, so we don't have two songs going through at the same time. Yes, I definitely do need a NAS there. I want to get one someday, but right now my computer is kind of acting as a one for the most of the stuff except for music. So let's see. Turn this up. Yeah, so right now we're looking at the dance. But if you weren't going to do the dance, but you were going to use the music as inspiration, like try not to look at it. That's one thing. So I'll take it off. Oh, actually, you guys weren't even seeing it. I wasn't sharing my desktop. So that's perfect. So if I don't look at it, I can take this music and use it as inspiration for what I want to do. So like lulls in the music until something happens. Oh, I haven't seen any dances. Only heard the song. Yeah, if that's the case, perfect. You can use music as inspiration. So, for example, when I hear this music, I kind of think of Pink Panther. So, like the beginning could be just very simple, quiet, and then let's see. It should be right about here. Yeah. So then something happens, and then a little quiet, and then goes a little quiet, and then again a da-da-da, and then he does something else. You can use that for your timing to kind of get the beats of your scene. Oop. Did I freeze? My camera seems to have stopped. Oh, there you go. I'm back. So yeah, definitely you can use music as inspiration for something to do. A good example of this is the animation Get Jinxed. if you haven't seen this, this is from League of Legends, I think. So I'm only going to play a little bit of this. But I remember when this came out, I really loved the way they put the music to the animation. And you could say that, oh, they choreographed it to the music. Well, yes, they did. But if you were to take out the music, it would still be a fantastic piece of animation. So, like, you can see, like, the lyrics right now is like, come and play, and the rocket is moving really slow. And now, as the music speeds up, the choreography even changes to the music. And then, right here, you can see how it... the animation, even if I was just to mute it. So, we've got the music, so it slows down. Now it speeds up. It's fast. But if I was to take off that music and we just listen to the thing on its own, and let me increase the quality so we're not looking at it super low. So we can animate it to the music, and then afterwards we can see that it makes it much more dynamic. So you can see we've got this nice almost peaceful look to the shot right now. Nice flow to it, and then suddenly it'll start picking up right here. So now it's picking up. It's more interesting. And it's just using the music as inspiration for the timing of your shot. Not just your animation, but it can be your choreography and everything. So yes, definitely you can use music. Do you have to put the music in afterwards? Not at all. It can just be used as inspiration for it. I'd be happy to talk in depth or to iron out what I'm going for. Lots of shows used like classic musical, Rhapsody in Blue or Blue Danube or things like that for inspiration. So yeah, don't be afraid to do that. It really is just kind of when I'm thinking of shots, I like to think of it as musical beats. It's actually comes right back down to what I did with the dialogue here. Looking for the not the phonetics, but the phrasing, the highs and lows in the dialogue. That's like looking at the highs and lows of the music, the fast moments versus the slow moments. It's the same thing. We're just looking for a way to make sure that our animation isn't monotone. Yeah, the Blue Danube always makes me think of Looney Tunes as well. Specifically, is it the Ugly Duckling? Or I forget the name of it. It's one that I used to watch at my grandmother's all the time when my brother and I were really young. But it was just ducks swimming, or swans swimming in the water to Blue Danube. Cool. So, going back to our scene here, at this point, what I need to do is to start filling out my X sheet. And the purpose of the X sheet, the Ugly Duckling, yes, I knew it was, I didn't know, I'm glad I remembered it. So the purpose of the X sheet here is to time out our dialogue so we know not just when something will happen, because, well, we've got Maya here, we can see the waveform right there. Like, that gives us a lot of information right there. Oh, thank you so much for following. Keone, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. The X sheet, or if I was to just go right into Maya right now, I can see by my dialogue when things should and shouldn't happen. But the purpose of an X sheet is to go more in depth in there, so that I will know when I have to put every single vowel, when every single word will be, so that I'm not second guessing myself and going, oh, should the ooh sound be on this frame or that frame? And oh, should I be there or there? I will be able to look at my X sheet and go, okay, I need the oo sound for the mouth here. I need the th sound for the mouth there. I can just go and hit all the important things right away and do an entire passive animation super quick without having to just scrub slowly and go here, there, I don't know. Not that that's not a bad, like, you could do that way, just scrubbing through. That's a lot of people do that nowadays because X sheets aren't super needed, but I like to do it because anything you can do to plan a shot and just kind of cement it into your brain is going to help you animate faster. And I like to do that. I like to plan as much as I can. Try not to overplan. That can be a thing, but it's very rare to overplan anything. But basically, you want to know your shot in and out, so that when you're animating it, you're not having to think halfway through, oh, what did I want to do here? Or, did I need to do something there? Or should I add? I don't know. You want to have thought about it already. So when you get into your shot and start animating, it's just, you're making decisions, you're going forward. So, a few things too. The way I kind of do it, again, I follow the character animation crash course way of organizing things. So I'm just going to kind of show a few like ways I do this. So for example, if there's nothing happening in the dialogue, I'll just add hash marks like that. Let me make sure I'm animating on a new layer. Good. When there is a word, so let's go here and so he says show. He starts on frame 2, basically. Frame 1, there's a little bit of sound, but that's more of a breath. So it's show, and then he starts into the sound. So on frame 2, that's where he actually says something. So I'll go in here, and on frame 2, I will just kind of go like that, and I'll write in the word that he's about to say. And let me do something in other than black. It'll be a little easier to see. I'm just going to do red. So that's the first word. And then I will go through and figure out when each syllable is. Again, the phonemes. So it's sh starts here. Sh. And O on frame 5. So frame 5 is going to be O. And I can just go, whoop. So show. And the reason this is important is when you're animating, especially when you're doing vowel sounds, you want to hit them very hard. So it shouldn't be show. So let me go to webcam. When you're doing the mouth, a lot of people, when they start out, they'll make it very muddy, where it'll be show. Or then it goes to you. Show you. Like, it's very slow. It typically, we hold in consonants and then hit vowels. So it's show. You can see how my mouth just pops open. Show. Show. And it just pops open. Show. You. You. Is fast. So by doing this, let's make sure I share my screen. And my cat's trying to stick his head through the couch there. But we get this very show. And then it goes show. And it goes for, like, I could say maybe till frame 8, where it's show. So up to frame 8. And then the next word, you, only starts on frame 13. So this is going to be you. And sometimes I'll write it just like halfway, like this, you. And it's E. And then here there's nothing. So show E, and then who. And then we're already going into the k sound, uke. So he's saying that really fast. Came. And you can see already we can start figuring out exactly where things should be. Now, in the action area, which again, keep in mind there shouldn't be this line here. That was a mistake I had done. This is where I would write in what he's doing. So maybe he turns head, and that'll go till there, and then he looks up and down. So maybe it's like the people come in, he turns his head and kind of looks them up and down. All the acting choices, this is where reference would come in. I haven't shot any reference though, I'm just planning out the dialogue. But this is where you would write down basically notes to know that this at this point that's happening in your movement, your dialogue is doing this. So and another thing I do, which is very similar to what Eric Goldberg does, is you can put marks here just to show the syllables a little bit more clearly. So you came. So again, let's go through. So it's A on K, A. So K, A. Oh, Impala Edits, or Impala Edits. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So that went till frame 19. The is super important. So you came. Now I could add like little arrows here, but then it gets really heavy. I only use the arrows typically when there's like a long moment, just to kind of show, yeah, make sure to hold this. If it's every like 2 frames like this, doing this and then this and then this, it just gets annoying. So that's why we have these little marks here, just to make sure like, yes, it goes from there to there. So you came, let's see. 21 is look. So l. 23 is k. Came looking. And you can see how it's just this kind of looky. I don't like this sound. It's more of a e. Looking. You can hear it right here. It says looking. Came looking. Oh, will you later offset the audio track by a couple frames, or is that no longer a problem with CG? It depends. Sometimes your shot will look perfect without any offset. Other times it's going to look weird. So there's no hard and set rule. And personally, for my dialogues, the way I approach it is I always try to time it out exactly when I hear it. And I do the whole shot exactly when I hear it. Afterwards, if I need an offset, then I'll offset it then. The problem that a lot of people run into is, again, this is the problem where if you don't do an X sheet, you might start animating and putting the shapes in as you're going. And then you'll go, oh, I should offset this a little bit, it'll sound better. And then other areas you won't offset. And then you've got this, like, some are offset, some aren't. And then if you do need to offset everything globally, now you're offsetting some things way too much and some things just enough. And then you have to do a little less, but now some aren't offset. It just becomes a mess. So I like to go through, and this is why I like to do the X sheet. So I know exactly when something should be happening. And I can worry about the offset later. And again, that's something that it'll just come up when you're actually animating and when you play Blast. Now, the big thing is typically you want mouth shapes to hit before the sound for certain things. So, for example, B. A big issue that people have is that they will do the B sound in the wrong place. So, for example, I don't have, let's say on frame 30, I'm going to do black. So black right there. So B. Well, people will do the B sound here. And the B that most people learn is the closed mouth. That's the B sound. Well, the mouth isn't closed here. The mouth is open. This is the exhale, the sound. B. The closed mouth, where there is no sound, is here. This is why some people, I need to offset things. Because sounds like B and P, things like is a little bit different because it's just closing lips and making sound. But for things like B's and P's especially, you have to be careful you have to think, when is the sound being made? And what's the mouth shape before and after? So that throws people off quite a bit. But I'll cover that again here when we get to black powder, because that's going to be very important. So looky, 26 is and then F. So this is 4. Do you have any lists that tell you what to look out for each letter? I don't have a list, but it's covered in the class 4 lectures. And I believe we have resources in the survival guide for class 4 on a bunch of this stuff. So yeah, you're not going to be like just thrown in with no guide. You're going to have some references. So F. Tho. Oh. And then I don't need the H for that. For black. For black. And then B. Now, this is the blah. Black. I'm going to put this as la, because I'm hearing both kind of la in there. So I want to kind of make sure I get that in. And then here it's going to be ah. And then, oops, 34. Is, oh wait. Let's see, 31. Oops, I think I miswrote these. Yeah. So the nice thing with Photoshop is I can just go like that. Haha. Everything's back in order. For black. Oops. Sorry. Black. I like to put the words in there just so you can easily see what's what. When you just have all the phonemes in there, it can be hard to know what's what. So 34. K. Like that. Black. This is powder. Like so. Pow. That sounds just weird, the way it goes down. This is the right there. If ever you have trouble figuring out like where certain words are, especially when it's super low or muddled, just look for the highlights. So this is the der, so 41 is the d. And this is the black pow. And you'll see, since it's kind of big, I want to put that in just to make sure I know powder. Der. There's the other d. Okay, 49 is the U. Again, since this area is so like quiet and muddled, what I'm trying to do is work my way through and figure out where the main ones are. That way I can figure out where these more subtle lines are in between. So, ooh. And let's say like that. Okay. Black powder. And then this is did. So from what I can hear here, he's not saying did you, it's did you. So it's more of a du. So D A, and then A DU. Black powder DU. Then I can. This is a great place to put in notes. So on frame 58, breath. That way I remember. Oh, Hamazart, thank you so much for following. Appreciate that. Thank you. So, like I said before, you want to write down notes as well. Make sure I write it somewhat legibly. And in this case, I just want to make sure that on frame 58, I don't forget about that breath. It's a big intake. It's I don't want him to just be talking and nothing's happening when he takes that breath. So very important there. Now, on frame 60, that's when he actually laughs. So this is the and H sounds are very what's the word I'm looking for? They're not super important because you can make the h sound with almost any mouth shape. H, 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 h. All it is your breathing. If you imagine, like, just breathe in and out with your mouth, like, just breathe in quietly. Don't like, just breathe in. And when you make the h sound, all you do is vibrate your vocal cords. Nothing's happening in the mouth, the lips, the teeth, none of that. It's just, it's a breath with vibration. So in terms of lip sync, it's a free letter because we don't have to worry about the mouth. But then we go into he. E is something important. And again, this is why writing all this down is very useful. And then, again, it's not going to be super important to have that in there, but it's just going to be nice to have. Let's see, 53. And then basically in between here, there's nothing. So mark that out. And then 58 is, 72 is ha. Ah. And then that's laughter. There you go. So don't need to worry about anything in there. Actually, even here. There you go. There you go. So we've done the first two sections. We've done the first line and the laughter. And basically, if we look at our X sheet, you can see it's starting to fill in. And we're getting all of this basically written out and organized so that we can approach our dialogue much more easily, because I know now that on frame 49 I need to have this E shape in my mouth. On frame 51 I need the oo shape. And I can figure out how to move in between from one to the other just by looking at this instead of going, okay, on frame 30, what was that again? Oh, okay, it was that. And then what was after that again? Oh, and then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is why even now I still like to do X sheets. They take a little bit more time, but to me they're worth it. So let's just keep going. And if anyone has any questions on this as we're going through, definitely let me know. You have duplicate AM menus? Yeah. Because of the license that I have for Maya 2016, I was doing some testing for AM. It causes duplicates. So you can see there's two versions of it. It's no big issue. It's just because I was doing some testing. But I'm not using any of these right now, so I should just switch it to animation. That'll be more useful, actually. But yeah. So let's see, we're on frame 78. Let's just move this forward. So on 81, that's when he is actually starting the N sound. So, no. And then this is the N sound. 83, O. '86, W. This is no W. And then N. And then we've got ask. There you go. On frame 90. Uh, 89 actually. So again, the nice thing about Photoshop is if I make a mistake, I can just move it. So we can see no one. We can even see the timing of the dialogue. How he holds on the O, but then goes through one asks very quickly. '92, he goes into the S sound. '96. This is the about on frame 96. So there, about, and we've got now here at the bottom asks. It really doesn't matter because asks is all the same mouth shape. So I really could just leave it like that. And maybe even just like as a reminder, sks right there. Asks about b bow. So b bow. Bow. 100 is t. (102) is, let me go like that. The so we've got about. That O did not look like an O. About. Let's see. This is going to be black. Bull. I'm going to put bull here because he's kind of mixing them together. I want to make sure I keep that in mind there. 105. Black. 109 is t. So powder. P. Ow. You can really see how he enunciated the black powder. We go from 110 to 115 where he's just saying ow. Yeah. 119 is 122. So you can see just how we can see the length of words. Black powder. Even though they're the same amount of letters. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one letter off. Not much. But look at how much time it takes. One word takes 4 frames, black. And then powder takes, let's see, 14 frames. So 10 extra frames for one letter. If we were just going by actual letters and not phonetics, that's where you could get thrown off very easily. (127) is b. And there's nothing in between. Like so. That's actually going to be B, and then T. Is on. Let's see. I know this is off topic, but will you be able to use My 2017 this semester? Unfortunately, not. Because the new site is launching, they don't want to bring too there is going to be a new update on that. It's probably going to be coming next term, not this upcoming term, but next term. But because there's a whole new setup coming in, they didn't want to change everything. To the point where if something breaks, you have to figure out where it is. They kind of do one thing at a time first, to make sure that people don't just suddenly have nothing if something does break, if that makes sense. So it is on the way. Yay, finally. But it's just going to be tiered to avoid any massive issues if something potentially does happen, which I don't think it will, but you never know with technology. So here he's saying, but I, so on I, there you go. I I 132. He starts new. There are so many bugs in 2017. Yeah, that's actually why I'm using 2016 right here. I know you can't see it, but mostly because 17 kept crashing on me on the last stream. So, oh, you missed my answer? The answer was that it won't happen right away. Because of all the new stuff that's coming in, they don't want to like change everything to the point where if something breaks, it's this whole process to get it back up and running again. So it's going to be one big change first, the campus, and then once that's up and running and everything's good to go, then the next change is going to happen, and so on. So it's going to be staggered versus just everything changing, and then if something breaks, then where did it break? Did it break here or there? Or I hope that makes sense. It's basically trying to avoid a catastrophic failure. If, again, this is like, it's basically just if the worst were to happen, that kind of thing. Would that happen? I doubt it. It's basically the kind of idea of, oh, if an earthquake hit and it just leveled everything, that kind of worst case scenario. Let's see. Who I knew. Who knew me? Okay, so 135. Oops. I knew one knew it let's see, knew it so you can see it, at this point it's really just rinse repeat, same thing over and over. Had And when you get to words like this where it's really like just breathy and had, that can be tricky. But oops. I just realized the music was gone. There you go. Something to listen to between little word chunks. Okay, 145. Duh. Add and then purpose. Not puh. Er. 152. The. Yeah. I'm hearing is. I think I'm gonna switch this to is. Yeah. P. P. Okay, so 159, that's done. And then he breathes in, breath. And then 164 is, yes. And in between there is nothing. Okay, so it's going to be E. Like so. Yes. Another breath. $176. And nothing in here. Try to keep it nice and neat. So H. Ah. $181. There you go. So I'm sorry I'm going quiet here. I'm just trying to kind of, I keep getting focused too much on it. And then U. So it's going to be E. And then there's nothing here. Except for breath again. Okay. you, you, you. You. You wish. Ooh. I'm gonna just put a little w and then it's kind of a you we. Let's see. Wish. So the reason I'm putting the wish is I want it to go from ooh wish to get the mouth corner to go ooh wish, because the ooh sound, the corner of the mouth come in, and then shh. I could do shh like that or shh like this. But in order to get a wish to read, I need the wish. 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 And even though I don't really hear the w sound specifically, I still want that to read. So I'm putting that in there. So, you wish to... this is the t sound. So it's kind of just a t. I wrote two, but t. I think it's more of a t sound. Okay. B. To b. Ba. Buy it. 200. Yeah. Buy it. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Go. It. And then 213. How the h sound and nothing in between. This is ow. Much. Oh, riveting dialogue I'm giving here. Just vowel by vowel talking. This is one of the most interesting streams ever, just me mouthing vowels. Let's see. Much. So, how much? How much you? 222. We'll put you. Okay. 324 is what? 327 is let's see. This is animation? Yeah, exactly. This is animation. This is the fun part. I actually really enjoy this personally. I know a lot of people would look at this and go, really? This is what you do for a living? You're an accountant. This is not fun. You're just looking at numbers and writing things out. But I love this part. I really... It's not mindless to me, because like you could just do this and just turn your brain off and whatnot. But as I'm doing this, I'm planning ahead and what I want to do for my shot. So I'm already imagining, okay, how am I going to move the lips? How am I going to go from this shape to that shape? That way, when I do get to my animation, I've already thought about all of it. I've kind of played it through my head. So I'm not just going to go into my animation blind. That's why I like to do this. Let's see, one question. It's kind of off topic, but is there a way I can save my own asset in AMP so I can have it on the server? Yes, you can. To bring it into AMP, I think this is covered in the AMP orientation. But all you need to do is drag it into a folder in AMP, and then right-click on it and add. That's it. That's really all you have to do. Now, if you want to show it to your mentor, you have to make sure that it's in the folder that they can see. So, for example, your assignment folder. If it's just something for yourself, your own file that you kind of want to back up, you can add it to whichever folder you want. So your personal folder, your locker, anything like that. If it's for your mentor, make sure you don't put it in your locker because they won't be able to see it. So just put it along with the other files, your assignment files. But it's really just click and drag to drop it in, right click on it, and then it should be either add or something like that. And then it'll be on AMP and you can use it from there. So I hope that makes sense. And you can open it from every computer. Yeah, once it's added and actually uploaded to AMP, it'll be just fine. And will it get slow if we add more files? No. AMP will stay the same speed because it's really just accessing files. The only time it'll be slow is if you want to download a file and it's huge, but that's regardless if it's your file or an AMP file or whatever. It just has to do with file size, just like downloading any file online. Think of it like Google Drive. If you upload to Google Drive, you're not slowing things down. It's not going to process more. It's just storing another file in there. Give me some message right now that tells me that there is some wrong file each time I open Maya. Tells me there's some wrong file each time I open Maya. Is that AMP that's giving you that error or Maya? And if so, what's the exact message? If you can just write it out there. Let's see, I was on 227. That's it. And then I've got till 2:35. There you go. And then for the very end, I always like to have extra at the end just in case, but then I can just add a red line like so. There you go. There's my X sheet. It's AMP. Let's see. It could. What kind of file are you uploading into AMP? Is it just a Maya scene? So, let's see. And just so everyone knows, I'm done the X sheet. So this is the X sheet. Now you can see it's very long. If you have long paper, you can just print this out. I like to just keep it on the computer here, and I'll just scroll through it like I'm doing right now, just up and down. But with this, I now know exactly when every part of my dialogue is going to be. I know the phonetics, I know everything. No, it's some OBJ, some FBX, and some ABC. Depending on the file type, if it's trying to open it in Maya, Maya won't be able to recognize it. In order to import an OBJ into Maya, you actually have to import it into the scene. You can't just open it. Same with FBX and whatnot. So it's... what's the word I'm looking for? If you're going to import it, you would need to actually go into Maya, go to File, Import, and then bring it in that way. Especially OBJ. FBX, that's a file texture, so that would have to be done in the Hypershade. You can't just open them directly into Maya. So you can still bring them into AMP, but then from AMP, just explore to the folder that it's uploaded to. Or you can go to... You can't really reference... Well, maybe you could reference it in. But your best bet would be to go to File, Import, and then just navigate to your AMP folder. So AM, AMP, and then just navigate into your assets here. Oh, and could I get a copy of the X sheet you made? Sure. Let's see. I'm trying to think the best way to send this over. The way I created this was actually just in Excel. So if I open up Excel here, oops. Let's open up my X sheet here. So this is it. So if you have Excel, I could just send you this file. If not, you just have to create just this. And then in order to bring it into Photoshop, export from Excel. And you can do this with Google Docs as well. I just used Excel since I have it easily accessible. Export it as a PDF and then import it into Photoshop. And then you can actually just draw over it like so. You can do that. If you want me to send it to you, just send me a message on the AM website, and I'll send it over to you directly. I'll upload it to Google Drive and send you a link to it. But the problem also comes without having it in a scene. So I mean having no OBJ in a scene. So you have the file in AMP, and you're getting the error. Let's see. Without actually seeing what's happening, it's hard to tell what step is causing the issue on your end. But I would recommend creating a new scene. Let's see. What would be the best way to do it? You could create a new scene and then just try to re-import things in. That might not get you... it's just stored in AMP, and I get error every time I open AMP. That should not happen. What error are you getting? So you open AMP, and then that black dialog box that comes up is showing an error in there. Because there should... AMP shouldn't come up with an error unless there's something interfering with it. Can I somehow send you a screenshot? Yeah, if you just send it, maybe just record if you like have OBS or something like that. Record this quick little screen grab of trying to open it up, and then just upload it to Google Drive or something, and send me a link on the AM website. I'll take a look at it there. And if you can access the new campus, you can just send me the link directly through there. You can submit files now through there. So either the old campus or the new, whichever one's easiest for you. And yeah, I can help you out through there. Another thing you can do is send in a support ticket. I think the support ticket system has a built-in screen recorder. I think. I could be wrong on this. To just record a quick little thing to send to support, and they'd be able to help you out no problem on that, and even check the back end, make sure it's nothing on something else that's causing the issue. Cool. So just as a recap here, we finished our dialogue planning. At this point, I would really just finish my normal planning, so shoot video reference, that kind of stuff, figure out my acting beats. But in terms of dialogue, I have everything I need right now. I've got the list, or my script written out. I've got all my subtext written in, so that I know what the character is supposed to be thinking when they're saying certain lines. I've got my pronunciation and my pronunciation. I always forget the other word. Pronunciation and good thing I have it written down here. Phrasing. That's it. I always forget phrasing. It's another P word. Pronunciation and phrasing up here, so I know how to pronounce certain words, as well as what part of the word is important. I know which I've circled and highlighted the sounds and shapes that are going to be the most important to hit. And I've created an X sheet so that I know the exact timing of every single part of this sentence here. Now, if I wanted, I could kind of conglomerate them together and put the sounds I want to hit and mark them out in here. I kind of like to keep it separate and just have both of these open. That way I can see everything all at once. And I like to look at this because it kind of gives me a full overview, whereas the X sheet you have to scroll quite a bit. So you can see lots of scrolling. So that is dialogue planning. And it took us 4 hours, approximately. I'll say 3 hours between like talking and all of that stuff. And if I was doing this on my own, it probably would have just taken like an hour or two when you don't have to explain everything. And this is something to keep in mind. That first time you do something, in this case, I was talking while I was doing it. I was explaining my process. When you're first doing it for the first time as a student, it's going to be long because you have to think of every single step that you have to do. The more you do it, the faster you get. So don't worry if you're slow at the beginning. You will speed up. So I think with that, oh, my pleasure. I'm always glad to talk about things like this. I really love this kind of stuff. So let's see. I think with that, unless there's any other questions, we might call it here. Now, if anyone is interested, let's see, how does this work? If anyone wants to just keep watching some gameplay on another channel, an interesting feature of Twitch is that we can raid another channel. Basically, what that means is that we all just jump into that channel and watch them play. And there's actually a friend of mine is playing some games right now, and she is an awesome animator. I would highly recommend watching her channel. She does some awesome animations, especially for Twitch type stuff. So if you want, let's do this here. I think this will work. We'll see. So I think it's... I'll have to remember how to do this. If you do have questions, though, definitely let me know. I do want to remind everyone, I will be gone for the holidays until the new year. So, Spam, join her channel. I think if I do this, everyone will be able to jump over and just type in, when you jump into her channel, like Pratt Raid or something like that. So, let's see if this works. There you go. So if everyone just types in something like, let's see, what would be a good message to type out as we jump into there? Something like Pratt attack. No wait, attack. Prattack. Prattack. There you go. So, oh cool, we've got 6 people jumping in already. That's awesome. So again, before we close off here, I just want to thank everyone. It really means a lot that everyone's been jumping in these streams, and I'm so glad people have been enjoying these. And hopefully I'll see everyone in the new year. Take care.